Welcome to our tutorial about the Trim Extend tool. Here's some abstract geometry that I'll use to demonstrate how this tool works. Let's activate the tool. It's in the Modify panel. There's two options here, Trim and Extend. We'll use the Trim mode. Now let's select a couple lines to use for a trimming boundary. Right-click to indicate that our selection is finished. We're ready to trim. Just left-click on the geometry that you want to trim. The segments of geometry between the trimming boundaries are erased. And right-click and enter to close the tool. Okay, let's undo. Activate the command again. In the command line, you see we can select all. We just press A to do that. And now everything can be cut by everything else. If I hold down the Shift key, the Trim tool switches temporarily to the Extend tool. When you're done, right-click and enter to close the tool. Let's undo. Activate the Trim tool again. And let me select my two circles. Right-click to finish the selection. At this point, I'm going to use a window selection. Right to left. Here's the green window. Something like this. And right-click, enter to finish and exit. Let's undo that as well. Activate the command again. Now I'm going to select a few lines for my trimming boundary. Right-click to indicate that I'm finished the selection. The contextual menu gives us some sub-options. Let's try fence. And let's create the fence. Here's our first point, second, third point. And right-click and enter to finish the fence. And our trimming executes. Let's undo. Activate the command again. We'll use the two circles for our trimming boundary. Now right-click and scroll down to Fence again. Let's create our fence inside the boundary. The lines don't have to create a closed profile. When you're done creating the fence, just right-click and select Enter. And our trimming executes. Let's undo. Activate the tool again. We'll select some geometry to use for our boundary. Now right-click and select Crossing. Let's make a window selection, right to left. All objects within the selected area are trimmed. Undo. Activate the tool again, and let's try the next option in the contextual menu. Select the trimming boundary, conclude selection with a right-click. Now let's right-click and select Edge. Now we're prompted to choose an implied edge extension mode, Extend or No Extend. They're available in the contextual menu now. Let's choose Extend. What this option basically does is extend the cutting line, and in my case, the extension is indefinite. Let's right-click and select Fence. And we'll place our fence points about here. Right-click and enter to close, and the objects are trimmed. Let's undo, and now let's check out how the No Extend option works. Activate the Trim tool. Let's select our trimming boundary. Right-click to finish the selection. Now right-click, select Edge. Right-click again, No Extend. And once more, right-click, Fence. Let's create a fence line. Right-click and enter to finish. Now only the lines which cross the cutting boundary are cut. Let's undo. And now let's take a look at the Extend tool. Click on the flyout arrow and scroll down to Extend. First, we specify the extension boundary. These two lines here, right-click to indicate that the selection is finished. Now we select the lines to extend. If I press and hold down the Shift key, the Extend tool temporarily becomes the Trim tool. And as you see in the command line, the Extend tool has the same sub-options as the Trim tool, and they work similarly. And this concludes our lesson about the Trim Extend tool.